Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins, and I want to welcome everyone for another very special edition of Trends in the Housing Market. Thank you guys. Thanks for being here for Trends in the Housing Market. And, okay guys, I haven't done a damn thing yet. I'm trying to be funny here, but I'm not. Okay, so what is Owen's in the house? Let's give a round of applause for Owen. Everybody in the house. Everybody's dropping in the house. Guys, I'm going to ask you guys to start sharing some videos. My channel is like, I have an email I'm going to read to you guys tomorrow about the channel and on why it's basically, the channel basically will never go anywhere. And there's a reason why. I thought it was my bad acting. I thought it was my content's really bad. It's not bad, actually. And I got some information from someone that used to work for the company. That's how they word it. So we got Owen in the house, Jordan Retro in the house. We got Lord Humongous. Oh my God, it's about time he's back in the comments. And the real Kevin Thompson, 2-time world champion. Woo! Yeah. All right. So we got quite a bit today on the show to cover. Kevin Thompson, arguably, in my opinion, the second or third most important guy, definitely in the chat room. So I'm just gonna message somebody upstairs. Someone was supposed to bring my mom was supposed to bring me down some water. She's like, "Oh, son, go ahead. I'll bring you down some water. You don't have to be late." I was almost late for the show, and so I'm just gonna ask him here to bring me down some water. There you go. I got water here from this morning, but I don't know if I want to drink that right now, unless I get really, really, really thirsty. So Doug Washington is there, real Kevin Thompson. Yeah, everybody is in the comments rolling in. And we need Lord Humongous. We need everybody, guys, to start sharing videos, even if you don't like the video. I really, really, really hope you guys could help me out with that, please. The channel is actually going to go nowhere. I got an email from someone that worked for the company. And this is kind of a little bit of channel news I want to give you guys, because a lot of people have been following me for quite a bit of time. But the channel is going nowhere. And from what I was told in an email from someone that worked for the company, he words it as the company, because I think he has some disclosure agreement of some sorts. So it's kind of sad, but I'll read it for you guys tomorrow on a separate video to kind of inform you guys on what's happening. Owen says, I share your videos, but there's a lot of people around my age that are not even interested in buying a house anymore because it's out of reach and they have student debts and to pay off first. Yeah, no, it's not that. It's not even about that. It's about other topics I bring up and other things. They're not bad. I'm not making them up. Everything's true, right? I'm reading articles for you guys, right? It's something else that's happening with the company. So I am going to message somebody here if they can bring me down some water. Oh, I think someone's coming down. Thank God. Yes. Hello, Layla. Real Kevin Thompson in the house. All right, guys. So let's go over a few articles here I have today for you guys. I want to bring up. Thank you, Ma. And okay. We got a few articles we're gonna go. Yeah, we gotta find out if Kevin Thompson is an agent. I mean, could we get Thompson? Guys, who wants to see us find out if Kevin Thompson is an agent or not? Okay, yeah, we should find out if Kevin Thompson is an agent. We need to, there's quite a few people out there that still. Yeah, Dave McLivy saying me. Layla Singh, laugh out loud. Okay, all right, let's go over some channel news before we kick everything off here. Okay, guys, today is the final episode of Project Tabletop. Last episode of the series, guys, if you guys want to watch it, where I basically take this ugly building and actually make it into something really attractive. Also, guys, today, Twitter is going to ban political advertising, also on the channel today. Morning Coffee with Mike is never a dull moment. And, guys, Merit Drama, Mike Boner is back! Mike Boner is back! Oh, yes, Mike Boner. Oh, he's back. So, it's basically here. Mike Boner is back. Don't forget to check it out. Check out the what's going on. Oh, it's got a few comments on here already. And it's nice, you know. Nice little story. Escape from expensive Toronto. Okay, guys, this is severely housing related here, so pay attention, okay? Escape from Toronto. Now, what's happening is Toronto is going up in pricing. The average condo is about $800,000 right now in Toronto. So we have it here. Well, here we go. This is from Lobster Boy. Lobster Boy. No one's getting. People are tuning in to this show because they know I started at the same time. So I know people are already messaging me on Skype asking if I'm going live tonight. They didn't receive. I got 11 messages here on Skype if I'm gonna go live tonight. So people don't get the notification, and so we got Steve Stevens in the house. We got Yendor saying hello. Pure Gosu is saying, is this Mike in the night? No, this is trends in the housing market. Okay, so Lobster Boy says here, so this is coming from the video I did this morning called Escape Expensive Toronto, and I put Vancouver at the end. It's okay, guys. So here it is, guys. Gone are the days where man and woman can't have a job and support a family of 4. You know, when people say I got 3 kids, they look at me like, "What? You have 3 what?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have 3 kids." Even when 2 people are working, they still, so this is in today's time, even with 2 people working, they still can't live well, especially after income tax, carbon tax, sales tax, and the bevy the bevy of hidden fees and taxes. Then there's food, high rent, and mortgage. And if you have a mortgage, you've got an absurd property tax. If you are young, I would seriously suggest that you consider leaving the country. Work as a digital nomad for a while until you find more welcoming place. Go where you're treated best. And that's from Lobster Boy there, who commented earlier 7 hours ago on the Escape Toronto video, which is picking up a little steam. It's gotten up 300 views. So tomorrow, guys, special announcement about the channel. And it's kind of bad news. The channel is going nowhere, guys. I'm not stopping. I'm just letting you guys know and what's happening with the channel. I'm kind of sad, you know, like, you know, it's you know, you put so much work into this, and people are saying I'm in Winnipeg. Okay, speaking of Winnipeg, guys, I need you guys, if you don't mind, let me go back to the channel here. Let's go over the channel news. I got a poll that's under the community here about housing, and I'm going to go to it right now, okay? Escape Expensive Toronto. Now, oh, this one was based off of right here. Very strong case for moving the hell out of Toronto. Single-family home sales rise 283% from last year in Toronto. Toronto Stories. Oh, what was this one? Hold on. This is a good one. Toronto Stories. Hold on. Let me see if I can get the title on that. It's not there. I can't read it. It won't show me. Very strong case for moving the hell out of Toronto. Sorry, I already said that. And then there's Goodbye Toronto, hello Winnipeg. Canada's young are giving up their big dreams. So this basically millennials leaving Toronto, Vancouver Statistics Canada data shows. Now, what's happening is there's a mass exodus out of these cities because people aren't making the money they need to live a satisfactory life. I'm not talking about amazing. I'm not talking about better. I'm talking about C, satisfactory. And D is like average, like below average. You know what I'm saying? Real Kevin Thompson saying, I love Winnipeg. Yeah, umpire's post got a point saying 800K, 800 large is way too much for just about anything. And that is true, guys, especially because you're paying VIG. You're paying VIG on that 800 large. Or juice. Whatever you want to call it. You're paying VIG. And when you're paying VIG, it ain't cheap to pay back. Believe me, it's like you're paying it back 5 times over. Oh yeah, thanks for the update, Owen. Bank of Canada held interest rates at 1.75 points today. That's thanks, Owen. Totally forgot, guys. I'm late for today's show. We got Gary Medeiros in the house. My man Gary Medeiros. Lots of respect for you, Gary. Welcome tonight. Welcome. So here it is. Escape from Toronto. So let me tell you guys, you're going to hear it first, and then the bigger channels are going to pick it up and reap the rewards and say, look what I told you guys. Well, this is what I'm telling you guys tonight on trends in the housing market, okay? I am going to tell this to you guys, and you guys are going to be the first to hear this. Yeah. Woo! Okay. This is what's going to happen, guys. We are seeing the young people leaving the cities. Middle class, working poor, and the people that actually pay the taxes. The people that really, really pay the taxes. And what's happening? Look at this article. Young people in Canada, largest cities, miserable because expensive living. The people living with their parents in 30s and 40s. Goodbye, Toronto. This is from the video this morning. If you missed it, it's called Escape Toronto. It's on the channel. And then there was one here. Where was it? A very strong case for moving the hell out of Toronto. And where was this one? Yeah, September single-family home sales rise 283% from last year. So what is happening, people? Well, this is what's going to happen. You're going to see a mass exodus of youth, middle class, working poor, the foundation of these cities. Because why? They support the infrastructure by paying their taxes and contributing to the man. Right? Right. Now, when they leave, you're going to see a lot of companies, which they are already in Vancouver and Toronto, electric companies, water companies, sewer companies, cable companies, all of these companies are crying because a lot of these homes in these major cities are empty. Now, there's no hookups. So the gas company had to it cost them money to run natural gas to someone's house. It cost the water company money to run a sewer to someone's house. So it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So there's no hookups. Now, with all the middle class and the middle class working poor, what's left of the middle class, and people wanting to get out of these major cities, making their way out, exodusing, you're going to see something interesting happen. First, you're going to see them implement an added value tax on a city and the surrounding area cities. So it'll be the GTA will have an added value tax of 2% or 3%. So you're going to have your government sales tax, your provincial sales tax, or if you have HST, you have your HST, one tax, but then you're going to have an added city value tax. Why? Because there's a lot of people, one, that don't pay property tax, believe it or not, on these empty homes. And two, the cities have these large deficits they need to flip. You heard it here first. An added value tax, I brought this up last year and the year before. Now, they're actually moving on implementing a new tax. They're not going to slip it into the gas. They're not going to slip it into your food. They're not going to slip this tax into something weird. They're actually just going to add a 2 or 3% added value tax right on the top. And no, it's not good. And it's not good. You heard it here first, guys, before the bigger channels come in here like vultures and just preach what I'm saying. And it's really sad when you put so much effort into this channel. Yeah. Okay, so this has got a lot of really good comments. There's Zombie Apocalypse Gary says, in my 30s, and I had lots of friends that rented nice apartments right out of high school and only with a part-time job. Now, some of them, even with professional full-time job, have had to move back home where they were able to get help from parents and buy an overvalued house. So I have a question for you, Mike. If things have gotten this bad in less than 15 years, where will we be in the next 15 years? The problem is, guys, and you heard this first, there will be no we in 15 years. A lot of us with ties to Europe are just moving back. I have a friend that processes a processing ticket processor in one of the big ticket airports there in Canada. And he told me the amount of people buying one-way tickets to go back to Europe is phenomenal. Phenomenal. So, comments are going nuts right now. So, the amount of people leaving and mass exodusing to Europe, and they're smart. A lot of these people, Portuguese, Greek, German, well, not really Germans, Portuguese, Greek, Italians, right, are the majority of them in Ontario. And they built the infrastructure, and they're realizing, I'm going to get the heck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And they're tired of it. The people are tired, so they're selling their homes in Ontario, and they're moving back to their old country. I spoke to a gentleman who emailed me to call him, and he was Italian. I said, okay. I called him, and I talked to him. He lives in Woodbridge, Ontario. He lived in Woodbridge, Ontario. He sold his house. Okay. And he's back in Ontario to fix a few things with his pension. And he's going to go back to Italy. He got a free house from the Italian government. Okay. A 2-story, 4-bedroom house, big backyard from the Italian government. And all he has to do is pay the minimal taxes. He pays 660 euros a year in tax. And all he has to do is maintain the house, and he owns the house. The house is in his family's name and on title. And yes, he was given a free house to move back to Italy. So, Lord Humongous saying Japan is doing the same thing, Mikey. Yes, Japan is doing the same thing. Yes, I covered that a year and a half ago. So K-Pax is saying in the comments, buy a house in Oshawa for $400,000. Okay, dude. Oshawa. $400,000. Oshawa. $400,000. Those two words don't go together. Oshawa. $90,000. I'll buy a house for $90,000 in Oshawa. I'm not paying $400 large for a house. $400 large. I once said, would that happen for you, Mike, if you move back to Portugal? No, they won't give me a free house. My dad who passed away, God bless his soul, has land there. Land that I have to go take care of when I go back. We got Anthony in the comments saying, hey. And we got Spencer Chapman. Doug Washington says, I flipped a house in Dallas, Mike. Yeah, baby. You know all my exes live in Texas? I'm not kidding. Like, all my exes live in Texas. All right, guys. So this is from Zombie Apocalypse Gary. And so this is from Kevin saying, if I spoke Portuguese like my parents, I would have moved back to San Miguel a long time ago. The last time I went there was back in 1995. Beautiful island. Yeah, you know, everyone's looking towards going back to Europe. All right, more channel news. We did that. We did Here we go, guys. So, guys, Escape Expensive Toronto. If you haven't seen it, Watch it later. It's really good. Very strong case for moving the hell out of Toronto's on my channel here. Guys, let's move to this. Australian housing ripoff. Add another story.
Man, do I ever have a deal?
You got to hear me sing this. So it's this house. Look, it's this house here. And they're selling it for, I don't know, 1.3 million. This thing right here. Okay, let's hear this. Let's hear this.
There's no indoor toilet.
Hold on.
Semi with only an outdoor toilet. So this is a house I have no idea what I'm going to offer you here. This is a Newtown semi with only an outdoor toilet. So this is a house I'm telling you. It's a semi with only an outdoor toilet. So there's no indoor toilet. And needing big repairs set for huge buyer interest. So down, let's look at today's article. Well, that's yesterday's article from Australia.
Watch this, guys. So watch this.
This is so good. Here it is, guys. In black and white right there. Articles by Matt Bell for the Inner West Courier. Here it is, guys.
So that piece right here, this little piece right here, it's not the one to the left, that's another house, and the one to the right is another house. It's just so a room. That house right there, 1.3 million bucks in Australia.
Such a good opportunity here. I could feel it in me. You know when you get that feeling and you start getting this rosacea in your face. Look at that. Oh my God. Okay, let's look. Let's calm ourselves down here. It's got holes in the roof and the kitchen wall and gaping crack, but that's not enough to keep the buyers away from this Newtown semi. Oh my God. Located in 25 Pine Street.
Yeah, so 1.3 million bucks. Okay, Australian, that converts to 900,000 American. So we did some shopping in this one, and I was finding like these mansions here, and comparing, like I'm not kidding here. Look at this house here. Watch, mansions.
So I'm gonna keep it at 211,000 to 275, 5 plus bedrooms. Okay,
watch this, guys. Watch
this. Make it comparable to that house. This one we saw here. This one we saw here in Georgia. This is an estate, dude. That's
an estate. Look,
that's an estate. You're not far from Atlanta, too. I mean, you're not far from Macon. You're not far from. You could get things done. You could run a nice home-based business out of this with $600 a month monthly payment with zero down. That's not bad. And for people saying, "Oh, American, it's American."
That's a good video, guys. Check it out. It's called. So that house was 160,000 and just outside of Atlanta, 200,000. I couldn't remember, but Australian housing ripoff. Now I did another video on the channel. Is foreign buyers tax discriminatory? This one's got a lot of thumbs down, guys. There's a lot of people taking. Never mind, because it had 21 thumbs down and there's only 4 now. I don't know why it had a lot of thumbs. Okay. So, is foreign buying tax discriminatory? No, because if I bought as an immigrant when my parents came and they had to pay a foreign buyer's tax, they have to pay it. It's not just how they would discriminatory. Are they being discriminatory against human beings? And then hospital discharges man to homeless shelter. Absolutely sad. And then we have, speaking of housing, Vancouver's the unhappiest city in Canada, and Toronto's the unhappiest city in Canada. So people are voting. So now, I want you to go to the community section on the channel, and then go to here where the first post, you're going to see which is Canada's most unhappiest city. Toronto's winning right now with 43%. Vancouver's in second place with 25%. Edmonton's in third place with 19%. Winnipeg other 7%, and Winnipeg 6%. So get on the section of community channel. I'll leave a link here in the comments where you guys were commenting here. I'm gonna paste this right here. I'm gonna push enter, and then here you go. It's right there for you guys. If you guys want to go on there, if you don't mind, going on there and voting. Open that in a new tab so you don't exit the live stream. Please do that. Okay. All right, guys. Now, I got some good news. China has an answer to the housing crisis, guys. It's been a long time I've been doing the show for you guys. If you go back onto the playlists here. If you go back to playlists. Where's trends in the housing market? Right here. So far, I have 167 episodes here in Trends in the Housing Market. I'm pushing my 200th episode of Trends in the Housing Market. And one episode on average per week. Some weeks I do miss. So I've been doing this 3-4 years. It's been a while now. Now, I am finally happy that there is some sort of breakthrough with this housing crisis. All right? You guys happy or what? We got ourselves a breakthrough. We got a breakthrough in the housing development. We got Brian McNeil in the house, Dougie G in the house. Okay, and then we got Umpire's Post is always here. Anthony in the house. Okay, Mexico. I'm going to put the Mexico soundboard on for Mike in the Night if you guys join me. Anyways, here's the first article, guys. I got some news. China has the answer to the housing crisis. And that's what tonight's show is dedicated to. It's basically China doing it and getting it done for us. Basically, we needed China to make this difference. Mexico! All right. Okay, here's the article. You ready, guys? China has an answer to its housing crisis. It's called rent. Oh, I'm off cue here. Yes, it's called rent, people. China now has an answer to the housing crisis. It's called rent. After, 170 episodes doing the show, I'm really happy to say that China now has an answer to its housing crisis. It's called rent. I don't know how many millions of empty homes they have in China, and they just... It's phenomenal. I mean, like, it's... The amount of... These are all ghost cities. They're all empty. That's why there's 2 cars on the road. Like, if you had that much infrastructure, you wouldn't even be able to cross this street at 3 in the morning. With the amount of vehicles that would be occupying this area here. And the buildings keep going down, at least about 25 kilometers down in the horizon. There's more buildings like this, just piling up. Well, here it is, guys. So let's read this article. It's actually a big deal. In 2005, when I first began living in China, rent was incredibly low, as in $100 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment in Xinjiang University in Hangzhou. This wasn't just due to the fact that everything was cheaper back then or lack of adjusting for inflation, but relative to the general price points of other goods and services, rent in China was staggeringly cheap. There was simply a lack of demand for the rental properties, and it would have been a stretch to even call it the rental market a necessity. It hardly even existed. While manual migrant workers were renting out bunks and dormitories and rooms in suburban villages. The moment of educated white-collar workers to China's big cities had yet to shift into high gear. There was an absolute glut of new housing being brought onto the market, and the cost of purchasing a home was relatively affordable, not to mention the fact that there was an acute amount of social pressure to own a home, and having to rent was almost pitiable. Today, the housing scene in China is very different, with a sizable portion of population priced out of the market in key areas, as well as a population that has grown accustomed to being geographically agile and moving from city to city for the best opportunities. Renting has started to lose its taboo status, and there are even signs of it starting to be seen as modern. physically strategic and perhaps even a little chic. In many parts of China, the housing market has topped out and stabilized. The construction boom has been curbed, and there is growing suspicion among young generations that going into long-term debt to pay an overinflated price for a house that statistically will be ready to be demolished around the same time they have paid it off. That's if it lasts that long, I say. May not be the best life decision. So, wait a minute. You telling me those houses that were built in 1910 in Vancouver that are selling for $2.4 million won't be standing in 50 to 100 years when the house gets paid off? Come on. It's fake news. Chris' younger generation has become an industry now to set a boom. So here it is. It talks about the boom. And then it talks about the real reasons Chinese love throwing money into housing market. It's like part of a wedding deal. Wow, look at all the condos. Oh my God. It's like part of a wedding deal, Chow explained. You get the house, then you start your own family. Once you have a house, a decent car, an okay job, then you can sit down. Get a latte at Starbucks and see what you are as a person. It's more of a trade rather than a romance. The crazy cost of housing. So, however, the wedding trade is now feeling the ripples of financial reality, and the cost of housing in China's economic epicenters is making some people accept long-term renting as a viable option. Housing affordability versus salary in China is the most out of whack in the world, Tanner pointed out. And almost all salary earners would struggle to buy a house with their wages. Well, that's what's happening in Canada. Right? So, which is making more young Chinese who want to stay in big cities realize that they're unlikely to ever buy a house there. Well, that's what's happening in Toronto. All our houses got paid out. A lot of them are empty. And a lot of young people are realizing, and this goes back to the video I made this morning, Escape from Toronto. Right here, Escape from Toronto. Very strong case for moving the hell out of Toronto. Escape Toronto. Video I did earlier today. How people in China afford their outrageously expensively homes. So price to income ratio in one of China's top cities is startling at 34.9 years, meaning that it would take 35 years of an average salary to pay for an average home. Even while China's middle class continues to grow, the rising cost of housing has doubled that of the disposable income. Compounding this issue is that not only of the housing prices rising to unaffordable heights, but larger down payments are being required and mortgage interest rates are going up, making buying a home seem more like a far-off dream than the average Chinese millennial. So here it is, guys. China is looking at a new generation. China is currently around 400 million millennials who are entering the country's labor housing. 399 million of them are men. And who are entering the country's labor housing markets with a different set of life experiences and outlooks that their parents and grandparents. China's young generation, the first to grow up into a relatively prosperous country, also face a different set of physical realities than their predecessors. So here it is, the rise of renting. So now over 200 million people in China are now renting their homes. And this may just be the beginning of a sector that's going to explode in the coming years. While China's rental market is currently valued by Jones Lang LaSalle is more than 1 trillion yuan, 140 billion. That's a lot. That's a huge sector. Renting still only makes up a mere 2% of the housing market. The Chinese government is very aware of the economic potential that the social necessities of the rental market and the 2017 launch new initiative. So here it is, guys. This is what I'm scared of. I'm going to tell you what I'm scared of. A lot of people that want to own in China can't afford and then move out to Western countries and then continue buying what we have left that hasn't been sold. So this is it. China has an answer to its housing crisis. It's called rent. With 300 to 400 million people renting now, China is... Yeah, guys, if you're handy with a hammer or if you're handy with steel, if you know what I mean, get over to China because right now, home repair is going through the roof in China by Brian McNeil. I did read an article about that where a lot of the people, when they hire contractors, they don't trust them. They don't put down a down payment to start the work because they don't trust them that they'll never come back and stuff like that. Very untrustful between the the worker, and then the workers are scared that when they do work on someone's house or do renovations on something or fix an apartment or something, that the worker won't get paid. They'll just be flagged away until they get lost. So that's another problem. So it's very untrustful. You know what I'm saying? So umpire is supposed to say humans need to cooperate with one another to coexist, and jobs are necessary for nations to have functioning economies. You pay someone else for the labor that you cannot do yourself. The problem with that is... No. The problem with that is the untrustworthy. I read an article where, like a contractor is scared to do a work on a condominium structure. Like, for example, like a condo structure is falling apart. So they got to resurface it or do something to the outside so parts of it don't fall and kill somebody on the street. Well, what's happening now is the owner of the building, I guess, the owner association doesn't trust the contracting company, and the contracting company doesn't trust the homeowner association for getting paid. The homeowner association won't pay the contracting company a down payment to get started, and so they don't need... Yeah. So Tyler D is in the comments. I need a phone number to call into the... Ew, whoa, watch the swearing there, man. And we got... That's another issue, Mike. Yeah, so anyway, so what did Joe say? Joe Toro saying, call me. You could add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980. Everyone does. I got over 1,000 people here on Skype. And... So, Joe, I don't know what area code you're in, so... And, Joe, hide your phone number there, buddy. Man, how do you hide that? Somebody hide Joe's number there in the thing. Mike, they just need to play the new Link's Awakening. I know, man. I was playing that. Tyler is saying, we are men here. Yes, I know we are. All right. Okay, so what's happening? So this is what's happening. China has an answer to its housing crisis. It's called rent. Yeah, so 400 million people now, 3 to 400 million people now renting in China. It's going to go up to about maybe close to 1 billion over time. Eventually, people are going to move out of those huts and working camps and stuff, and people will eventually move into more of a middle-class situation, right? Or we're losing our middle-class situation in the West. Woo! 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 So, Jeff Alacero saying, Mike, talk about the advantages of renting, please. I already made several videos on the channel about renting versus owning. Renting is okay right now if you have an escape plan, if you have a way to get the hell out. You rent to get the hell out. That's it. You're renting to just get out of here, to get out where you're at. Because a lot of people are going to rent, especially depending on what age. If you're super young, if you could stay with your parents until you make enough coin to get out. Get out. Please, get out. And find somewhere inexpensive like I did. All I have to do, like let's say I lived alone. All I had to do was work at McDonald's here, and I'll be fine. Because the cost of the overhead's so much cheaper. So we got the Raven in the house. Joe Toro says, I save $1,000 a month renting instead of getting a $100,000 death pledge. Yeah. So if you could save $1,000 a month renting, put it into some high-end or high-interest savings something, put the money aside, and for a rainy day, and travel. Save 30 grand. Buy one of those travel vans and just go around North America. Go down to Mexico for like a year or two. Go up the coast, then go a little other parts. Party it up and just have a good time. Aww. All right, 2/3 of mortgages are in arrears at Canadian non-bank lenders are uninsured. 2/3 of mortgages in arrears at Canadian non-bank lenders are uninsured. A lot of Canadians are going non-bank lenders for their mortgage needs. So what they're going to secondary markets. Okay, there's someone swearing in the comments again. Yeah, what's happening with the housing market in his area, Raven? So I was waiting for you to talk about this one, Mike. This one is a huge red flag. This story is a canary in the coal mine. I don't see I don't see the link. Put a link here in the chat, and I'll see. Please put a link in the chat, Joe, so I could see it, please. Cost of living, making $15 an hour at McDonald's is like making $7 because of the cost of, or it's like making $2. But anyways, now people going to private lenders right now are in arrears. Oh yeah, they're in arrears right now, people. Why? Because the interest rates are crazy when you go to a secondary mortgage lender. Keeping your home equity work for you. A lot of Canadians are going to non-bank lenders for their mortgages. StatsCan survey shows that the substantial amount of new loans to non-bank lenders in Q1 of 2019. The high growth rate is also accompanied by a larger than typical rate of arrears for Canada. Most of the mortgage debt arrears is uninsured. Canadian non-bank lenders hold over $324 billion in mortgage debt. This is non-bank, guys. $324 billion. You know why? Because they couldn't qualify to go to their banks. Oh. So yeah. So that's it. So even with the slow first half of the year, non-bank lenders still did a lot of mortgage business. They added 49,402 insured mortgages in Q1 of 2019, totaling $14.14 billion of mortgage credit. Non-bank lenders now hold 621,730 insured mortgages, totaling $138.5 billion in mortgage credit. That works out to 7.95% of mortgages added to the books in the quarter. Not a bad haul. So, guys, if this doesn't bring up, this is insured mortgages, this is uninsured. Guys, if this doesn't tell you or gauge something, or you guys are this is a big deal. Okay? This is a big deal. Do you know what this means? That people don't qualify to go to get an insured mortgage through a proper, they're going into secondary markets or getting uninsured mortgages. That means they're living on the edge in dangerous financial territory. Okay? And it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. And I really, really, really recommend, guys, that if you have friends that are in a position like this, which you probably do, don't tell them I told you so. Don't bother saying that. A lot of these people need credit counseling. Okay? They don't need more mortgage. They don't need more debt. A lot of people that are in this situation believe they needed more money to get out of the original problem they were in. When the bank doesn't qualify you for something, it's actually a silent, it's actually a good thing. It doesn't seem like a good thing at the time, because you believe that, you know, you need um, the money at the time. But realistically, the bank knows you don't need it because they shouldn't tell you this, but you should just default, and actually you will do better. So, guys, I don't know, guys. I'm really concerned about this because a lot of people need credit counseling, and what really scares me, even keeps me up at night sometimes, is the amount of people. I don't know why they don't teach this to people in school. You know, this should be this is people should be getting taught this in school instead of understanding the history of some artist, or understanding how macaroni doesn't stick to a pan or something. I think understanding this is more important. You know what I'm saying?
This is Ricky Roma.
So, Mike, the video you posted today where you talked about your dad made me cry. Really? Why? Joe Toro said, yeah, it's okay, buddy. Don't teach this in school because they want you on the system for life. There's a double standard in life. We are screwed, says Gary Medeiros. The Fed needs printing counseling. Yeah.
Guess who?
Yeah. They need printing. So these are the insured mortgages here, and here are your uninsured mortgages here. So new mortgages at Canadian non-bank lenders. So this is Q1 of 2019. Insured, uninsured. Manaya la putana de... Guys, don't mind the background noise, guys. It's just my family. Everybody is in a hyper mood today. Kids came home in a very, very excited mood tonight. So yeah, I'm looking for here the couple of things here I want to bring up to you guys here.
Are you up against it now, motherfuckers?
Whoa, sorry about that, guys. That's just a soundboard. I'm just trying to hear. I'm just trying to find. I got the soundboard open here for Robert De Niro, but I can't find "Say Hello to My Little Friend." I there's just 1,000.
I would like a limo.
Guess who?
What do you want? What do you want?
Yeah, I'm Richard Roma. All right, so Mike, if you're making $20 Australian an hour, do you have to calculate that by US dollars, like 16 US? That's how you would do it. Yeah, you just go to a currency converter on Google, like this. Just go here, type in currency converter right here. Here you go. Exchange, currency exchange. Then you should have one like right here. So you go in, get lost. Google wants to track me. So you go from 1 Canadian to US. If you want to go to Belize dollar, gets you 50 cents US. Wow, the Belize dollar, 1 Belize dollar gets you 50 cents US. Sorry, I thought it was the other way around. And then let's say you want a Cambodian real. That gives you... That's not even... Okay, that's like 1,000th. So you need like 5 billion... Look, 5 billion Cambodian reals to make $1,300 in America. So that's very simple to do, guys. Check it out. There's a lot of Australians messaging me that want to move to the United States of America. Okay, so we already covered this China story today, and we're still on this because I'm hung on this, man. Do you know what this means? This is actually a lot bigger deal than what you guys could ever imagine. I don't know. I just wish I could tell you guys or give you...
Life sucks.
I just wish I could tell you guys really realistically how bad this is. Canada's non-bank lenders hold 33 mortgage... Canada's non-bank lenders hold over 33,000 mortgages in arrears. I don't know why this is not front and center page in the news. I don't know why. I don't understand why. I don't understand how this is not number one front and center. Canada's non-bank lenders hold over 33,000 mortgages in arrear. Not 3, not 33, not 3,300, 33,000. Do you know what that means? That's 33,000 potentially 28,000 properties. Because some people have 2 liens, 3. That's potentially 28,000 units that are in arrears. And that's from Q1 of 2019. Totaling $2.48 billion of mortgage debt. And then totaling 1,704 are 90 days in arrears. Guys, you don't know how catastrophic this is. I know you got like stuff like AMTV on you know, talking about the end of the world every 3 hours. I get it. They should put an inflation rate on the end of the world videos, like every couple hour. This is a big deal. This is Q1. Mortgages in arrears and Canadian non-bank lenders. Look at the uninsured. Uninsured mortgages are doing little worse than insured mortgages. Non-bank lenders, well, yeah, well, it always will, because the bank wants to make sure you qualify. Well, they try to make sure you qualify. Non-bank lenders held 20,224 uninsured mortgages in arrears in Q1 of 2019, totaling $3.78 billion. Of those, 2,359 were in arrears for more than 90 days, totaling $587 million in mortgage debt. Canada's going to have to lower rates. And low roller scratchers on the money today, too. Let's put that up here. Lowered rates this morning. I had my stocks go nuts today. Here it is here.
Today, we decided to lower the interest rates for the 3rd time this year.
Why? If the economy's doing well and everyone's thriving and we're in a booming job market, why are they cutting rates for? They're introducing QE Infinity. It's getting out of control. Why the hell are they doing this for? Yeah. Canada, Martin saying Canada will lower rates with the U.S. now. We are equal to 1.75 versus 1.75. It makes no sense. Let's hear what this guy with this tie has to say here.
We took this step to help keep the U.S. economy strong in the face of global development.
You raise interest rate to keep the economy strong. Well, I guess maybe... All right.
Developments and to provide some insurance against ongoing risks. This is 11th year of expansion, and the baseline outlook remains favorable. The overall economy is growing at a moderate rate. Strong, supported by a healthy job market, rising incomes, and solid consumer confidence. In contrast, business investment and exports remain weak, and manufacturing output has declined over the past year. Sluggish growth abroad and trade developments have been weighing on those sectors. Looking ahead, we continue to expect the economy to expand at a moderate rate, reflecting solid household spending and supportive financial conditions. The job market remains strong. The unemployment rate has been near half-century lows for a year and a half. The pace of job gains has eased this year, but has remained solid. We had expected some slowing after last year's strong pace. Participation in the labor force by people in their prime working years has been increasing, and wages have been rising, particularly for lower-paying jobs.
All right, that's a message there from Jerome Powell there. I was going to do a market rate cut, but I had to do, sorry, I can't read market talk, but I had to cover the mass exodus of people leaving the major cities of Canada. Toronto at the highest risk of housing bubble in North America. Don't be silly. How could there be a housing bubble if no one lives there anymore? Give me a break. This clown knows he's doing a stand-up comedy act, says Jim B747 in the comments. Merit Stalker is saying private lenders offshore offer lower rates. It depends, Merit Stalker. It actually depends where you fall under. Private lenders do, but they're very rigorous, or they're very tough when it comes to actually they have very strict rules and very specific guidelines. Where the bank, their documents are structured a little bit different, where they have a little bit of leniency if you're late a bit or this or that. But with private lenders, there's might as well deal with the mafia. That's how bad it is. So we got Joshua in the house. No, Merit Stalker, it doesn't mean easier qualification. It just means a private lender could use multiple different, depending on institutions that they have access to, for funds to redistribute money to people applying or in need of financial or assistance in their, the needs of what they need, whether it's a second or a third lien. But to get a first mortgage from a private institution or a private lender, a first mortgage is the hardest to get from a private lender. But to get a second and third mortgages is a lot easier. Merit Stalker says no middleman. No. The private lender is the middleman. The private lender actually borrows at a higher rate. The private lenders borrow actually at a higher rate than the banks do. Believe it or not. All right. Joe Toro says the worst economic turn down Canada has ever seen is on the horizon. Oh, it's a massive event horizon, guys. It's a massive event horizon that's on its way here. And I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, after reading this, 2/3 of mortgages are in arrears, and Canadian non-bank lenders are and most of them are uninsured. There's that many. I mean, you got to be out of your mind. This is not good. This is from Q1 report. This is Q1. What about Q2 and Q3? We're in Q4 right now of 2019. Yeah, private lenders are around 6 points. I've seen 8 points. I seen a guy do a first mortgage for 8%. I saw a guy do a first mortgage for 8% because he couldn't get a mortgage at the bank and they had to refinance. Jim Beef 747 is saying the crash will make homes 50% less than today. You can take that to the bank, or wait, can't trust the banker. Lord Humongous says stack food, water, ammo, and precious metals. Merit Stalker saying private lenders are offering lower 5-year fixed than banks. It depends. It depends. If you go to a broker, right, he's not lending you the money. A broker could work to find you a better rate, but then you got to pay the broker a brokerage fee, right? Private lenders, not really. Brokers, yes. Brokers could find you. I've seen brokers find. I've seen a broker find like a secured mortgage, second lien at like 6%, and the bank was offering 8% on a second lien. You know what I'm saying? At the time. Merit Stalker says, look it up. Yeah, mortgages are kaput. They're all tied to bank fraud. Okay, let's move on. Move along. Toronto, highest risk is a housing bubble in North America. Don't be silly. Again, guys, this video, Escape from Toronto, I did this morning. This is actually a very big deal. Again, I don't know how many times I have to bring this up, but this is going to add more taxes to people living in big cities, because with the young people leaving to smaller towns and paying taxes in smaller towns means, look, millennials leaving Toronto and Vancouver, stats can, tens of thousands leaving young people in Canada's largest cities, miserable because of expensive housing. Guys, it's not good. It is really that bad. It really is. And they're going to have to add more taxes. They're going to add an added city value tax. They're going to add more stuff. So let's keep going here really quick here. Right here, September, single-family home sales rise 283% from last year. That's sales, right? Remember, there's an oversupply in the Toronto market. Don't forget that, okay, guys? And we got cautious optimism for housing markets in cities beyond Sydney, Melbourne, experts say. So let's see what these people have to say here.
Domain's managing editor. Alice, the all-important Domain property report is out, and it shows that property prices are up pretty much across the country.
Yeah, it's been a really good coming out, and we're seeing definitely an upswing in a lot of the markets, and particularly in...
Did you guys see that house that I made the video yesterday for? $1.3 million. It doesn't even have indoor plumbing. It has a bathroom outside. It has an outhouse. That's how housing is going in Australia right now.
Interestingly, in Melbourne and Sydney.
Okay, well, let's get straight into it and go to the median house price in Sydney.
So let's look at what's happening in the Sydney market here. We can see that house prices have gone up 4.8%, the median house price. And this is a $50,000 increase in the median house price in Sydney.
Wow. Okay, guys, and that's $694,000 for a one bedroom. And a house is $1 million. Guys, just so people understand, this is not pesos or that Cambodian money we're looking at. You have to get 5 million of to make American dollar. This is not pesos. This is Australian dollars. Do you understand? 1.79 million Australian dollars is like $770,000 American. Do you know what you could buy for 140 grand in San Antonio, Texas? You could buy a mansion. Like, I showed you guys that estate for 140 grand. An estate. I don't understand this. Here it goes.
And we can say that for now, it's the steepest downturn since the 80s looks to be over as prices are starting to creep up again.
So this is just in the past couple of months,
That's right, in the past quarter, exactly.
Okay, so how high can it go?
Well, look, I think we've definitely seen an uptick in what they have been, but I would not expect to have the heady heights of what we saw late in 2017 happen again. I think we will start to see gradual increases, but it will definitely be more moderate than what we have seen historically.
And we've also seen some positive signs for the Melbourne market as well. What have we seen?
Melbourne market is also up. It's up 4.1% for houses and 3.1% for units. Huge. And it is a record high for unit prices in Melbourne.
Again, for people watching, this is not pesos. Atención, damas y caballeros que están mirando esta transmisión. Estas figuras, estos números aquí, no son pesos. Estos son dólares australianos. Esto no son pesos.
Okay, I had to tell this because people watching this in Mexico right now are looking at, hey man, that's like 85 grand US. That's not bad. We should move to Melbourne. No, that's 855,000 Australian dollars.
And the strongest quarterly gain of all the capital cities for units. And again, the increase in house price marks the end of another downturn the Melbourne market has seen. And a lot of this is due to the strong population growth we're seeing in Melbourne and the
Fangulo
confidence in the job
population
market
growth.
also.
So do you think Melbourne does seem to be edging closer to Sydney now?
It's definitely the big question, and it's definitely having growth at above Sydney at the moment. But if it's going to crack the $1 million mark, it's too early to say yet. But I do think in the future, obviously, no population growth will be strong in the future for Melbourne.
Do you know what this means?
Crazy, there's city
You're not going to see any Australians living in Australia anymore.
Who's got the biggest bank?
That's right. Brizzy was on a run like the State of Origin. They were flourishing, but like State of Origin, again, they've been a little disappointing.
It's had a dip. So house prices are down about 1% in the Brisbane market and 3.4% in unit prices. So this is due to the high level of apartment supply. And we know that Queensland has the highest levels of interstate migration, but it's still not enough to counter the amount of new construction pushing prices down. But Brisbane's north has been the only place where prices have grown, and it's gone up by 1.77% in the north of Brisbane.
So it seems like we're still sort of gearing up for that dizzy boom that we've been talking about pretty much for years, it feels like. The boom is coming, the boom is coming. So we've got the houses now, we just don't have the market to support it.
But
is that right?
It's definitely challenging when the supply is just, they've been so inundated with supply. It's hard for that to change, what's happening with the prices there.
So we just need that, obviously, that migration to keep on happening to catch up.
Yep, and perhaps the supply to slow down a little bit too.
Okay, guys, listen to me. I'm okay. All right? Listen to me, I say. I'm fine. I speak Spanish and I speak Portuguese. They're not. I don't think these people speak Spanish or Portuguese. So when they need to leave their country, I could just kind of slip under the radar somewhere else and just pretend I've been there my whole life. Because this is ridiculous. I'm sorry. This is... How could they be promoting something like this? What do people make realistically in Australia? Like, are they making, like, literally $300,000 a year to be able to afford these things? These are average homes. We're not talking about the houses we were looking at early from the video I did here. Look at this video I did here earlier today. This is crazy. Watch, where is it? Escape Toronto. Where the hell is it? Australian housing ripoff. Man, do I ever have a deal and a half for you guys. A deal and a half. You guys have no idea what I'm going to offer you here. This is a new town, semi, with only an outdoor toilet. So this is a house, I'm telling you. It's a semi with only an outdoor toilet. So there's no indoor toilet. And needing big repairs set for huge buyer interest. So now let's look at today's article. Well, that's yesterday's article from Australia. This is so good. This is so good. Here it is, guys. In black and white right there. Articles by Matt Bell for the Inner West Courier. Here it is, guys. Oh, it's so good. Such a good opportunity here. I could feel it in me. You know when you get that feeling and you start getting this rosacea in your face. Okay, let's calm ourselves down here. It's got holes in the roof and the kitchen wall and gaping crack, but that's not enough to keep the buyers away from this new town semi! Oh my god. Located in 25 Pine Streets, the property is also being described as virtually uninhabitable, with it lacking creature... There's the inside there. Millions. Hold on, that's not the inside. That's a video they made of the worst houses. And look at these houses I'm looking at after. That's 1.3 million for the house with no bathroom. And what you could buy in other cities is just look. This is the house here. Let me see if I can hear. No matter what price we get on the day, he said. We first inspection be held Saturday. And there's a picture of the backyard of the house. Backyard! And that's the portable toilets on the other side there of that pile of garbage. But he expects that whoever buys the home will probably look to either knock down the home or vastly remodel it. There is a possibility to go up into the roof and add a secondary story if the buyer wanted to explore that option. Well, yeah, secondary story. Secondary story.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Woo! So that's like $1.3 million. Yeah, I don't even know what to tell you guys, man. I just... So watch that if you want to see the video in full. Australian housing ripoff. Add another story. Yeah. Sweet hole. Yeah, it's a teardown. Oh, it's a teardown. But the problem is you can't tear it down because you have two other homes that look exactly the same. That it's like a townhouse. It's like one little slit. 1.3 million bucks. Yeah, Jim B747 right in the comments. Right there. You don't need a bathroom for $1.3 million. You use a plastic bag. That's a really good one, Jimmy. All right. Cha-cha-cha, railroad, it was dark. Rained all night the day I left. Susanna, don't you cry. Here's where the Australian property prices are going in 2020. Well, they see it basically, most of it going up in specific areas. And this is broken down to different suburbs in the Sydney region. And then you have the Newcastle and Lake Macquarie and far west of Orana, Central West Capital Region. So that's a longer article to get into right now because it breaks down every region. Gold is up 1,500. Gold is up 1,500. Yeah. After the rate thing, man, I was so good, man. I was checking out my portfolio. I'm like, oh my god. Because I bought gold when it went down to 1,400 and something, 1,480 or 1,450 or something. I bought a ton of gold when it dropped. All right, let's finish what these people have to say here.
And Adelaide just seems to be good old Adelaide, being steady as she goes.
It's a steady child that just sort of pitters along each quarter, basically. But it's seen a 0.6% drop in house prices to $539,000. But basically, the market is a steady long-term performer despite these drops and has been making steady gains since mid-2013. So I think the challenge with quarterly data is that it's just a snapshot, it's a window on one quarter. It's more interesting when we look at things annually, so we can actually see a pattern forming over time.
Oh, but it's nice to know, isn't it?
It is.
Perth still struggling as
well. Perth still struggling. 1% drop in houses in Perth, down to 527,000. But it's a buyer's market, but that pace of fall.
Buyer's market at 527?
Are lower, obviously, than the 2014 record high in the city. And,
there's no jobs in Perth.
That heyday again, who knows? But it's definitely a more challenging market.
I've really enjoyed learning about, your Hobarts and your Canberra, sort of those smaller regional cities, but they're really strong.
Yeah, and we talked about Hobart the other.
Remember Hobart? I've been talking about Hobart on my channel. I don't know, for a million years. Go up here. Type in Hobart. Unless friggin' YouTube deleted it. Right there. Australian delinquencies mount. People moving to Hobart. Look. Illegal house Sydney on the rise. Australian weekly housing wrap-up. Just talking about basically the mass exodus of people from Sydney, Melbourne, and heck, even Perth that moved to Hobart for a better opportunity. Toronto, Adrian saying, which country has the best housing, Mary, for middle class? America. It's now or never says domain data is a year old. Mike, it's BS, dude. I know it is. That's why I'm doing a lot of this stuff here. Look, that's why I'm doing... Yeah. Yeah, the market has people brainwashed. All right, let's go back to here. Nobody cares. All right, housing market slump means Australia has lost 124,000 millionaires. So what happened was originally, guys, a lot of people were wealthy on paper. Why? Because they owned their homes for the last million years, and it finally went up in huge amounts of value, overvalued, and now their millionaire portfolios are now worth pretty much slashed 30 to 40 percentage points. Okay, yeah. Let's move on. Too bad for that, eh? Who's buying Seattle? New report issues warnings on Seattle's luxury housing boom. All right, let's see what they say here. Seattle's luxury housing boom will worsen inequality and affordability in the city, according to a new report which calls for officials to require more transparency in who's actually buying luxury real estate in the area. Remember, guys, Seattle's about a year and a half behind Vancouver and all the rest of the Western world. I've been following Seattle with a very fine-tooth comb because after Vancouver imposed the foreign buyers tax, everybody ran to King County, Seattle to buy it up. And 30%, 40% went to Toronto, and they had a huge festival in Toronto, buying up and bidding up properties in Toronto in 2017 when Vancouver. Now, Seattle was completely bought out of the market. Within 6 months, Seattle pricing, some places went up 18% in 6 months, the value. So here it is, guys. Seattle's luxury boom. The report, Who's Buying Seattle's Pearls and Luxury Real Estate from Seattle, the Program of Inequality and the Common Good at the Institute Policy Show studied 8 luxury condominium buildings with units have the average of taxable property value of $2 million. It found that 1,653 units looked at 12% owned by limited liability companies. Sorry. I got some clapping here. You know what that means? Foreign investors! Or trusts that don't reveal actual people who own the property. Remember, I was reading this same article 3 years ago, 4 years ago about Vancouver? Well, it's happening in Seattle, and it's catching up now there. And I'm kind of watching Seattle like almost like in the past, even though I'm watching it today, but I'm watching it in the past because in Vancouver, they wrote the exact same article 3-4 years ago. Nobody knows who owns these properties, and that's what's happening right now. Limited liability companies don't reveal actual people on the property. With trusts reported, the owner is obscured by a trustee who manages the assets on behalf of the anonymous beneficiary. More expensive units have higher chance are owned by trustee or other corporate entity, according to the report. You know why they're doing that? Is so if they implement a foreign buyer's tax in Seattle, they won't get hit by it. You know? My financial advisor told me to invest in condominiums. I told him I don't use them. I know. A zombie apocalypse, Gary says, saw an interview with a realtor from Seattle and says most of the buyers are from China, buying sight unseen. Yeah, this is Seattle's 3 years behind Vancouver with this. So you're going to see the same patterns that happen in Sydney, in London. Okay, you know who's ahead of everything? London. London was one of the first countries in 2010 to open itself up to investors to come in and buy up property. And they didn't have to declare where they got their money from. London was the first, okay? And then what happened was Australia started to see that London was profiting or London was bringing in so much offshore money that Australia wanted to profit off that. And this was during the time when Perth was doing okay in the mining sector. And then Australia jumped into it, competing for wealthy investors. And then Canada started in about 2013, 2012. After the Olympics, we started seeing a little bit of change in Vancouver. 2012, 2014, boom, that's when it hit hard. That's when Canada was pushing for 500,000 wealthy Chinese per year. And then, once that foreign buyer's tax came on, boom, everyone went down to Seattle, King County, and or Toronto. And look what happened to Toronto. Woo! Woo, woo, woo! So, the umpire's post says, appreciate the realness of your show, Mike. Guys, I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to lie. I have no reason to lie to you guys. And that's why my channel goes nowhere, is because I just kind of connect the dots and you start getting your answers. The skyline of Seattle is being transformed without fully knowing who is buying up luxury properties, said Chuck Collins, the lead author on the report's senior scholar at the Institute of Policy Studies. The burden is now on the city to show how building boom will benefit ordinary Seattle residents. Okay. So it's gonna building ordinary Seattle residents. Are they hinting that this foreign entity or foreign movement, how it's going to impact? Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. It's already happened in Seattle. People are moving to Salt Lake City, Utah, Denver, from Seattle, from Washington State. And then people in Oregon, they're moving east. And people from California, mass exodusation, are moving east. All right. The report also found that 1,635 units studied, just 39% of the owners were registered to vote. There it is, right there. So you're not getting the American proper buying in American proper is not getting into this anymore. So everyone's headed east. Wagons east. Is the homeless crisis really killing Seattle? It is. Thesis, urine on the streets. It's all right. Let's get someone on the show here. I'm getting really depressed talking about this stuff. Okay, I got Ashima here. She wants to call in. Let's see what she has to say here. She's like, hi Mike, how are you? Let's talk. All right, let's call her up. Let's see if she's there.
Hi, Mike.
Heyo, Ashima, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and you? How are you doing?
Oh, you know how I'm doing. You watch my videos. I'm doing good.
Yes. I do. So what's happening?
Well, tell me. You messaged me a few times, but I don't use my Skype during the week, so I'm not sure. So you tell me what's going on. How is you said you were looking for a house, and what's happened?
Yeah, I did bid on a house, Mike. So I bid on a house in the Hamilton area, and I said an inspector. I said I'm not going to buy anything without an inspection. So my finance was not a problem, but as I said, I'm not one of those crazy buyers who'll just go and buy. So I did an inspection, and there was a leak in the house, all four sides, which could have been fixed. I walked out of the deal. So
What could it be fixed? Say it again. Sorry, one more time.
Yeah, so I was buying a house which was only around 4 years old, and then there was a leak around the house because it was an investor property, and they had given it to renters, and they were just not bothered, And then I just didn't want to buy into something which was leaking.
Yeah.
So I walked out of the deal.
Yeah.
I am not going to waste my money. This is hard-earned money. I've worked 9 to 5 jobs to save this money. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Did you see that article here? And you could see the patterns. I just read the article. Who's buying in Seattle? All these corporate numbers and entities are buying up Seattle. Now, didn't you see the pattern in Toronto last year in 2017 when all these numbered companies were buying up all this property in Toronto? No one knows who they were. It's happening now in Seattle.
Yes, I just saw what you were saying. And because of these numbered companies buying in Toronto, things have really slowed down. I can tell you. So everybody agrees there is a slowdown, but then they say the economy is doing so good and there's so much of immigration. I don't know where is the immigration, and I don't know what's happening to the economy because, as you said, people are going back.
Well, to Europe, my friend is a ticket processor, okay? With one of the major airports in Eastern Canada, and he processes about 17 to 30,000 tickets a month, okay? And he tells me the amount of people going to Europe and not returning is crazy.
And you know what? You know what's happening in Europe, right? You know the central bank is saying that the negative interest rates are not changing a lot all over the world.
Mhm.
It's actually creating more problems than solutions. And very soon, see, we are now in an ideal environment. The economists say, I mean, the bankers here, whatever they say, the government says, yeah, we're doing very well. The jobs are doing extremely well, and the housing is doing so good. The interest rates are very low. It's not going to stay like this forever, Mike.
Mhm. Mhm.
Things will change one day,
It's
right?
not. They're saying it doesn't mean it's happening, right?
Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm saying. It's not, see, it's just one, it's like a domino effect, just one thing, and then it's going to be all different, So just don't, one should not just be emotional. So I have been told in the past 2 months that I'm a crazy fool. Property prices have always increased every year, 30, 40,000. And basically I'm a person, like I don't want to buy, or what, I don't know, I've been told so many things about myself.
Mhm.
I don't care, as long as I'm strong, my head is strong, and I don't get into the nexus of, what's happening. The builders, the city, they all are so greedy, and these investors,
Mhm.
and never get into that rut. Stay out of it. If you like something, you're 100% sure of it, go for it. Otherwise, just walk out.
Yeah.
And I it's just not to people, like millennials, everyone. Don't do something which is against your, just listen to your heart. They say that being a confident and a well-read person, it's the best clothes you can wear. And I think that's changed for me. I feel if I'm confident, I have a good backup. It's the best house I can live in.
Now let me ask you a question. We're getting close to the Christmas season, right? We're
Yeah.
about 8 weeks away from the Christmas season. Now my question to you is: do you see consumer spending or consumer confidence going up and spending going up to help our economy offset with the consumer market? Because a lot of economies are banking on the holiday season to make more, more sales, more this, more revenue, more bonuses. What do you think? I don't, in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be up this year. I think it's going to be consumer confidence will be down. What do you think?
So as I said, we just everybody's been saying, all the economists, that we are in a no, we're in the age of consumerism. Everybody wants to consume, right? So, but where is the money in the market to do that? Why are you okay? Fine, Mike. Why is the bank dropping interest rates if there is so much of activity in the markets?
Well,
Why are they doing?
they're lowering interest rates because
Who are
the economy is
consumerism,
falling
right?
apart, and our economy has shrunk. The economy has
Yeah,
shrunk in the last 2 quarters.
yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. We are not human. We globally, people have stopped spending. Right? So that's why they're lowering interest rates, just to give you more power to spend.
Or
But
give
no,
you
people are,
more room in your trunk to carry more debt.
yeah, but that's what they want. They want you to leave. They want that you should go out and buy more, but it is not happening, Mike. People are holding back. Mike, where is the money? It's all the banks have made you put everything in the house, and people, like I know of 50% of the people who I know came here, have either gone back or are going back
Hmm.
from my friends
Like
after
people,
selling their house.
yeah, yeah. That's nothing new. There's too many people that came, and the sad part is a lot of people really contributed to building this country, and a lot of them are leaving.
So, I think this is going to be a regular process. People will come, people will go.
Hmm.
But the job of the city, they're charging us taxes, right? Mike, they are giving land to the builders. Those lands, builders don't want to work on. They are landfills, and there are things which I don't want to talk about now, which I know, and the gas is coming out. I know it. I don't want to say a lot over here, but things are, the consumerism is consuming our thoughts. We don't want to think if what we are doing is right or wrong.
Hmm.
And that's when we start wearing dirty clothes, buying, go house poor, put everything in the house. No, we need to get out of that cycle and think that we as human beings are much more than just a house, much more than just my clothes, and much more than this consumerism which is actually started dying. People reached the maximum consumerism. Everybody wanted to spend more, right? So that's dying down. You can see it. There's no money in the market, Mike. Where's the money?
There is no, and then they keep injecting money, and it's not looking good right now. I don't think that consumer confidence will go up for this Christmas. I think you're going to see a lot of coal in people's stockings this year.
Yeah, so people just go, wow, nice house. They don't want to get it inspected. That era has gone. I've seen people buying houses without inspection. I don't know, why do you have to do something like that? You just go buy, just go bid. My God, multiple offers. All that has died down. So definitely something has changed. And not just me, everybody, even the dealers, they all agree to it. But they don't want to say that it's going to go down because the whole economy and it's global now. Everybody, they're functioning on more taxes. They earn out of, like the land transfer taxes, and the city earns taxes. So if they want it all to go up, keep on going, it's not going to, this ideal situation, which was there a few years ago, is not going to remain. It's going to change.
Right.
It has to. This law of nature.
Right. So what do you see happening in first quarter of 2020? Do you see things stabilizing, or do you see prices starting to cool down, or do you see a stagnation where it just doesn't move? Where do you see things happening first quarter of 2020?
From what I have, it's just, okay, I might feel what I do, but the major economists who've seen the 2008 and who studied the 1930s, they feel that there has to be a recession. There has to be a recession to reset things, Like 2008, US was better after that. So these recessions are actually corrections which are good for the economy if you look at it. It makes you think and makes you jitter and realize what did we do that we did wrong.
Right.
And there is no around, I can't say that I don't see wrong. It's just that I sometimes cannot, we can't say what we are supposed to say, right? We can only do what we're supposed to do, but we can't say things. So one keeps quiet and moves away from it. But definitely, inverted yield curves and a lot of difference between rich and poor. So all those trends, as I said, those trends are really bang on. I see that, the recession 2020, I've heard people saying that it's going to be a bad year.
Yeah.
Transportation already slowing down. So I don't know, where's the money coming from?
Well, here's the deal. This is the first time in human history where people living in the West that work and have a decent income can't afford to live in their own cities. So this is going to be a recession of the times. This is going to be something of a recession of biblical proportions, in my opinion.
Let's see what happens. They are trying to avert it, but now it works in the big powers' interest too, sometime to let it correct. They want to go take a new position because just like a standard market and standard graphs, people sell on high and buy on low, right? That's a standard. It's a standard graph line. So that's what the world goes after. Mm-hmm. So if it doesn't go low, how do people get into it? That's what everybody does.
Because recession is a good thing. We go into a good recession, we have time to rebuild. Right. I remember when in the early 80s when they raised, or the late 70s, early 80s when they raised interest rates to like 8, 9, 10%, almost overnight the economy started rebuilding.
Yep. So that's what they did in EU. They are saying they've already started saying that the negative interest rates are helping. They are just not helping. So there's going to be something which is going to change. And if the interest rates change, my people have, as you said, I was watching your graphs. You're absolutely right. On the border, there is a black market or the secondary market, which is flourishing. That is where it's going to hit people, Those things the bank won't know, right? The central bank doesn't know those things. And as you said, they're all uninsured. No CMHC. By the way, when I got my approval, my mortgage approval, even though I didn't want a lot, but I thought it's nice to get to use a credit score which you have built up, right? So they were giving an ad, high ratio mortgage. I said, what is this high ratio mortgage? They said that it's like if you don't have a CMHC approval, you don't have a lot of cash down, you're going to be getting money at a low rate, like
They did
2.19.
that. They did that in London, England. And you know what they did? That's what killed their market in 2015 when they announced interest only mortgages and or 0% down if you qualify, 0% down, 100% loan to value.
So I said, sorry. And if you do the calculations, you probably pay 3 times of what you're buying. So might as well stay on rent.
Yeah, but if you put 0% down, you actually pay 5.6 times percent of the value.
Value. That's what I'm saying. Just take a simple mortgage calculator, calculate. Why do you want to do that?
Like,
You
that's
don't even know
crazy.
how much.
Why would you? It's like buying the handcuffs and putting yourself in jail.
A person like me will never pay anything less than 60-70% down because I know it'll be a very small part, and that also just to test the waters.
Yeah.
That's it. Just
Yeah.
to be cash happy. So I don't know. So I feel either people are very ignorant and they're highly ignorant. They just do what they want to do. If someone will tell them something, go buy a house, they'll go buy it. I don't know. It's like it's the biggest asset that you're gonna afford. Think about it. Think what you're doing. Think about what is the current world situation, what it might be in the next 10 years. I'm not saying you speculate, but at least be aware of what is the current situation. And is this situation going to last forever? No, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it just takes a change to change the
Things
market,
are
right?
definitely changing, and things are going into another direction. A very, very, yeah. Okay, Ashima, thanks for coming on the show and giving us an update. Keep us posted on your, when you go to auctions and check out housing. Keep us posted on what's happening there in the market in the Greater Toronto area. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Good night.
Good night. All right, so we're getting an update there, and I want to thank her for coming on and watching the show and taking the time with the show. It means a lot to me that people actually come and, and do that. So I am looking here. What am I looking at here? Is that... I'm just reading some of the comments here. I'm getting a lot of Skype messages here, guys, from PayPal. From people here. People are sending me messages. So who we got here? Oh, somebody wants to add me to Skype. Ooh, it's Solid Exter. Wait a minute. I already have you added on Skype. I already had you on the show. Why am I re-adding you to Skype? Did you give your Skype to someone bad and you had to delete your account? Let's see if we could get, let's see who, I haven't spoken to the Raven. I wonder if he's still alive.
You're really a special guy.
Oh.
$1 million.
He's not, No, Raven's not picking up. I guess he's maybe at his cottage, or he's something, or he's out and about. Yep. Trends in the housing market tonight, guys. So, guys, this whole Seattle thing from yesterday is actually bringing back memories. Units nobody knows who owns. They're under corporate entities with representations, and the most expensive units in Seattle are basically not owned by the American proper, and we know who owns them, and it's really scary, really, really scary with putting the rest of the country in,
Well, Rosie is a loser. Rosie's been a loser for a long time. Well, Rosie is a loser. Rosie's been a loser for a long time.
That's Rosie O'Donnell, by the way. Okay, here we go. We got the Raven saying, call me up. All right, let's see if we could do this again.
Hey there.
Yo, Raven, what's up, dog?
Not much. Just relaxing.
Oh, you're just
Got some
listening
time.
to trends in the housing market?
Yeah, I'm sitting here with Miss X. We're watching on the projection screen. Your head is huge.
Is it?
Yeah, you're huge. You're on our wall.
Woo!
Rosie is somebody
Yeah.
out of control who
Cool.
really just doesn't have it.
So,
Okay, did you see that? I saw you commenting on that whole thing about the house and housing and uninsured
B-lenders.
mortgages from secondary markets. That's scary, dude.
You know what? 2/3 of their, you said, are in arrears.
Mhm.
That's a huge number. But what was the 33,000? Is that how many homes are in arrears?
Yeah.
Because that's not that's not a huge slice.
That's still
That's
a
not-
lot. 33. It's not 3,000, dude. If it was 3,000, I'd say okay, 3,000. Because once you break it down into a tier where okay, we're going from banks, then we're going to go to secondary, then we're going to go to secondary uninsured, then now we're going to secondary uninsured in the rears. That's a long tier to go through to get that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Wait till they add 2 zeros to that number. Wait till it's 3.3 million, because the banks want to own it all. They're going to own it all in the end, and we're going to give it to them. They're going to take everything slowly.
But what
Yeah.
happens to the Canadian proper?
You know what I'm really trying to get a handle on?
Mm.
It's, how is it like China's talking about going digital? How is a digital market going to affect our mortgages?
Mhm.
How's this digital, like China says they're going to roll it out early, like it's early next year. They're rolling it out. This is coming.
Mhm.
And then the US is going to say, we have to be competitive. Can't let China be the one with the digital. You can buy the yuan anywhere in the world.
Mhm.
How is this going to affect the housing?
Mexico.
How is all digital going to affect the housing market? I'm trying to get just trying to think. It's a strange thing. It's just trying to think about how everything is going to affect everything. It's a hard handle to try and sort out. But you can. Did you watch Paulon's talk today?
Yeah, I
Steve-
played it. I played it earlier, and I was playing the soundboard, laughing in the background.
Yeah, Stephen Paulon's. I watched that live this morning.
Yeah, he was talking about how basically the economy's doing great. We're doing amazing, and
Mexico.
It's like
He said in 2016, 15, 16, when the oil took a tank, that was something that they could figure out on paper, right? They could look at the arithmetic. They could look at the arithmetic and they could figure out a dot plot and should we raise, should we lower? They could figure that out.
Mhm.
They just had to call a few companies, see what the loss. They could figure that out. He says today, with everything that's going on in the trade wars and all the uncertainty, they don't know how to plot it. They're just sitting back and watching how everything unfolds. But you can see, hey, we're laying off 55 people on Friday.
the train station.
Yeah, we're laying off 55 on Friday. They got the word. So they're getting axed on Friday. 55. Some of those guys bought houses, I'm sure.
Mhm.
How are they going to pay the mortgage now? But
Yeah, I heard that Winnipeg now the housing prices are starting to go up quite a bit actually.
yeah, they are. Actually, you know what? I have someone here who wants to talk to you about that, actually.
Mexico.
Hey, did you get my letter I sent you?
No, I checked my mail today. How many business days is that?
It's you should get it by Friday,
Okay. No, I'll let you know.
please.
She'll
Mexico.
she's leaving on the 6th.
Oh,
And yeah, no. She wants to know what she's doing with it, but she'll talk to you another time about that.
yeah, no problem.
Okay, but she wants to talk to you. She had something to say.
All right,
and it
bring it
actually
on.
okay, here shit.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Yeah, no, I didn't. Raven just wants me to talk. I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
So
But-
housing in Winnipeg. You're in the Winnipeg area. You've been a real estate agent for many years. You know your things. You know your numbers. You understand the markets. What is happening? I've been reading a lot of articles, especially this morning, with the mass exodus of people leaving Toronto and moving to Winnipeg.
Oh, that could be. We get lots of people who come here. Yeah, you're right. A lot of people come here. It's very affordable. We're known for being affordable. So that's nice if you want to,
So
raise
how
your
long do you think
family.
that will stay affordable?
Since 2002, a lot of people thought the market would just, it's where are the people coming from? Who's buying all these houses we're building, that kind of thing. But it just has kept going. Someone made that comment. Canada is very diverse. We have diverse markets. We're not as up and down. So we're pretty steady here. Nice and steady. Get people who come pretty affordable. I don't know. Keeps growing. We have good immigration here.
Because
Then a lot of people want to buy houses. You know why? Because they want to live somewhere. That's why. That's the difference between the housing market and another kind of market. It's not just investment and speculation. It's just a lot of people have it, in their heart that they want to own a home.
Well, that's why I moved to the town of Merritt, where I'm in. It's 2.5 hours from Vancouver, and I couldn't care less how far it is from Vancouver because I don't care. I want to be away from that, and I want to own my own place. I want to raise my kids. I want to lay roots, right?
Yeah, we're 2 days drive from Vancouver, right? Yeah. We're far from there, because we know, it's Toronto, Vancouver, but we're here. We're here in the middle, and we like it here. Some people don't, but it is. It's good, affordable. You have a good quality of life.
So,
We got a very good.
do you see them lowering interest rates in the next quarter, in the next meeting, Canada, to keep up with America, or do you see it the same?
I don't know about those as much, but they probably will come down. I think everyone pretty much believes they'll be coming down, and it might take a couple years, but they'll inch down. I think everyone. Yeah.
Couple years.
You never really know what's going to happen, though, right?
That's a long time frame.
How do you know?
I can hear the raven in the background.
Yeah, because you're talking about
2
economy.
years.
So
She said 2 years, Mike. No, those interest rates are coming down. Next meeting, Pelaws is going to lower 0.25%. And as the bad economic numbers come out and this recession starts
the United States of America.
But by next year, you probably is going to see us close to zero.
And here's another good point about real estate. See, so when house prices started going up years ago, it was because interest rates were coming down. So as interest rates coming down, you have way more buying power.
Right.
So when you don't have too many houses, like in Winnipeg, we weren't as growy. So when we were kind of slow to get going on that, then you have higher demand than you do product. And then people are like, hey, I have so much more buying power. I can totally afford these payments. So let's just throw on another 10 grand. Who cares? What does another 10 grand on a house mean in your overall mortgage amount? Not much a month when it was that cheap. So off you went to the races. That's how prices go up.
Yeah.
But then prices, that's just like that. It doesn't matter. If they raise interest rates, house prices will come down. Great. Same deal, same difference. You're paying the same amount. It's just a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really, right? Like people used to say, wow, how do these young kids going to buy a house for 200 grand? And that's true. When I was in real estate, 200 grand was a mansion. That was very rare to get a, mansion for that. 180 to 2, woof, those were not. But now, then it became, entry level is 200 grand. But house interest rates were different. So in the end, it works out to the same.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I was reading an article earlier, just before I called you guys, that no one knows who's buying up the Seattle luxury housing market in the luxury housing boom, and it's basically showing it's only 33% of the American proper own this property. So we're seeing the same patterns that we saw in Vancouver with the luxury market, the same patterns in Toronto in 2017, 2018. and in the UK and in Sydney and all over all these major Commonwealth capitals, you're seeing the same patterns now. America's a little bit behind when it comes to this because I don't know what's happening, but a lot of expensive property is being sold to foreign corporate shales and leaving them empty. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't see that happening in Winnipeg. I don't see this kind of trend happening there. But it is a way where you start seeing more people moving there because of this. Remember, for every action, there's a reaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing that a lot of these places that one person locally can't get in, I see them migrating into another place. And that's why the article I read the other day here on my channel, the articles I read, Escaped Expensive Toronto, and the amount of people moving to Winnipeg and Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island is I couldn't believe the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and you know what? It's always been that way anyway. It's just, it grows exponentially. So then you see it clear. But even, I mean, you have to think even 40, 50 years ago, right? Certain people just really like to go to BC and they, you know, there was always a good Chinatown there and it was healthy, you know, in Vancouver. It's great. Like there's always sort of been that. And so it just keeps growing. That's it. Just keeps growing. But it's the same trend. It's not actually a new trend.
Right. No, I understand it's the same. It's the same. But the problem is you want to hear the same. You want to hear another same trend? Our wages aren't going up.
Yeah, that is, we always wonder, right? We're here in Winnipeg. We always hear of your housing. We're like, how the hell do they live? Yeah. We can't imagine how you guys live on that. Is it even, how does that happen? I don't get it. Because I know they don't need too much more money, right? Like, you'll know people say police officers, right?
No. It got so bad in Vancouver that they had to build a specialty subsidized housing for government workers to rent because they couldn't afford to rent in the open market.
No.
And Sydney, Australia built a tower too that's off limits to non-government workers.
What happened to the house prices if wages are flat? If wages stay flat, what happens to the house? The house prices are still going up, and wages are flat.
It's because of foreign investing is speculating, and people basically really, speculation is huge. Lower interest rates. Now they got to keep lowering rates into negative territory. There's no end in sight unless we actually let the economy or the housing market actually go on autopilot. If they left this housing market on autopilot, then we would have seen this correction about 3 years ago.
Is there anything on this world that's on autopilot? Is there anything on autopilot?
I think that South Park is the TV show. That's the only TV show right now that's basically doing what they want and saying what they want. And that's why they dissed China in their show and they dissed all these other things and all these things happening. South Park is the last, I guess, you know, we lost AJ. Remember AJ?
Yeah.
We lost AJ and all those, you know, channels and stuff off of YouTube and social media sites. And a lot of people were punished after Hill Dog lost the elections in the American primary elections. When she lost the elections to Donald Trump, Hill Dog punished everybody on social media for that. You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, we just started seeing everything fall apart. The only thing that's on autopilot is South Park. That's it.
Everything else is managed.
That's correct.
Yeah. Everything.
Yeah. Are you going to come on Mike in the Night, Raven?
I'm off for 9 days, so yeah, if you want.
Yeah, I want to talk about wealth building, maybe savings. Actually, literally, how do we kind of weed through all this crap and actually start to build a foundation so people can start saving wealth instead of, or finding a way, I guess, through everything, or you know, just maybe giving some advice on how people could pay down their debt if they have to, or you know what I mean?
I can only say what I've done, and I've made a lot of mistakes in life.
Right.
A lot of financial mistakes.
Yes.
But I learned from my mistakes. So all I can do is tell them, don't make the mistakes that I made.
Yeah, then
There's
share
certain
share some of that with us maybe on Saturday if you can, and if you get some time, and we could discuss this, and maybe we could discuss other people. Maybe get Supreme Cannon on, talk about wealth building. We could probably get a couple of people on from Australia, talk about wealth building, because right now I think it's a really tough nut to crack. The housing market, the stocks are unpredictable. You got all kinds of things just. All the avenues you're looking at are very unpredictable, and everything's shaky right now. So what does one do? Buy gold and silver. That's the answer to everything, right? But there's got to be a way to make people happy out there, so they feel comfortable. People don't want to be not everybody wants to be a million and a billionaire. People just want to be comfortable. That's it.
If money managers can't get 7.5% in the pensions in North America, it's hard to find yield. The millennials, I told you on that show before, the millennials are screwed. Where are you going to get yield?
I know, unless like, I guess people need to start. For me personally, I think people need to start lowering their cost of living so they have more disposable income to start creating other businesses or something to generate more revenue.
And they're walking into the bank, they're looking at a pie chart. Oh, how old are you? Oh, you're low risk. Yeah, or high risk or whatever. The younger, the more high risk. And they're just taking your money. After the commission, the charges, the management fees, you're not making nothing. They're just screwing you. Then it's all just a game. You think they're there to help you, the bank? They're not. They're just going to take you. That's
I'm not talking about. Well, I'm not. Let me tell you. Let me tell you a little secret. Something I've been doing on the side. I bought a soldering iron, and I bought a bunch of broken handheld systems. I bought a box of capacitors, all different capacitors and stuff. I've been repairing handheld systems that are valuable, replacing screens, replacing that, just for fun. And I've been selling them on eBay for a couple of $100 a pop, and I've been buying them broken for $50.
Nice.
So you see what I'm doing? I'm not doing this because I want to make more money. I'm doing this because I enjoy doing this kind of stuff and reading graphs and understanding wattages and looking at where the microchips. I'm slowly immersing myself to this, and I'm just fixing hardware and selling it on eBay. I'm buying broken stuff, fixing it, whether it needs, you need to, whatever you have to do to it. I'm keeping this, I'm going to actually launch a video and showing people what I've been doing actually. And I've already sold 3 units. Everyone's been happy, positive feedback. And I sold 3 units. I made almost $670, and it cost me, the capacitors cost me $85 for 5,000 capacitors. And then the soldering iron was $35, and all the broken units cost me less than $100. And I still have 11 more units to fix.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what I'm telling you.
You never cease to amaze me.
And then what I do is my little guy, my son, sits on my lap, and I show him how to solder. I show him how to check it with the timing lights. I show my son how to use the multimeter to show the different wattages and stuff. And he's only 5 years old, and I'm showing him how to use a multimeter and change batteries on a motherboard, or maybe change a capacitor on a switch. Things like that, right? And
yeah,
there's ways to do it.
He already knows more than half the people I work with.
Hey, wait, my son understands Portuguese. He doesn't speak it to me, but he understands me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, you know what? One day when you get some time, man, I know you're on vacation, dude. Why don't you fly out and stay with me for like 5 days if you're off for 9 days?
I've got things to do, but next year for sure,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do a full weekend of Mike in the Night on the dock down at my cottage on the big dock.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll bring Lord Humongous. We'll bring all the key players and we'll do a full weekend on at the lake there next year. We should organize that
Oh, yeah,
live.
I'll fly into the airport there. You just got to come pick me up, though.
You got a room for Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Miss X has a brand new place here with a brand new room for you.
Yes. Does it have a view of something nice?
Yeah, actually, yeah. It's you know what? In her room, looking, no, in her room upstairs, looking out is one of the best views. Like the trees and that is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And my view at the lake, if we're up on the deck, we can see the whole lake pretty much. It's one of the best views at the lake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with a guest cottage halfway down.
That's nice.
Halfway down to the water, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Raven, I'm going to let you go. I've been talking for 2 hours. I'm getting tired.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon, okay?
Okay. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. So that is the Raven with Mrs. X there. And yeah, maybe we should maybe I should take a road trip with Supreme Cannon and get out to Winnipeg there. I think it's 20, it's about a 22-hour drive from Merritt here. I don't think it's that bad. I think we just jump on the 5 and then just jump across 1 and take it across. I'm 6 hours from Calgary, and then from Calgary to Winnipeg, I think it's at like 20 hours maybe drive. So maybe I'll do a whole road trip thing with you guys, go live during the drive and stuff. And
You're the most amazing guy.
yeah, and we could do something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out next summer, see what happens. I do have to go to Portugal next summer, though, so we'll figure out. I think it'll be towards the end of summer, so...
I beat China all the time. I beat China all the time. I beat China all the time.
We got a gentleman here, Anthony D., commenting a lot. Anthony, can you add me on Skype? Mike Martins 1980. Mike MikeMartins 1980. Go ahead and add me on Skype, buddy. We'll have you on the show next week for housing. You're commenting there a lot of good stuff, and I want to have you on the show. Working on it. We got to get her on the show so we could talk about, maybe we could get working on it. Maybe I'll just do a show, me and her, one-on-one show about Wexit, and maybe she could go on the ground live. She could go live maybe on one of those Wexit protests, and maybe go somewhere and stream live on Skype for us and show us what is happening in Alberta with this whole Wexit movement. It looks like it's a big deal. Is it just a flash in the pan? We don't know. Does Western Canada want to leave? Yeah, Edmonton is dying. I need to leave this dump, or this dumb. Yeah, she will. She'll do some working on it. Said she'll go ahead and do some freelance reporting for the channel and get out there and get the word out. Guys, if you don't want to start a channel, that's great. Just do some freelancing for this channel. Just go out and say, hey guys, I'm here with the Mike Martins channel. And, my name is Adam with the Mike Martins channel, and I'm here at this massive protest here in downtown Vancouver, or I'm here in Melbourne, Australia. I'm here in the UK, and I want to show you this house that's selling for $7 million, and it's realistically worth $9,000 in Houston. Things like that. Yeah, Calgary is better than Edmonton, in my opinion. I've been to both cities, like twice. And, yes, Steve, I think they're using the Rising Home Equities as ATM machines. Yeah, I've been, hey, watch, look at my channel, type in ATM machine. This is a popular word on my housing ATM machine, massive default. ANZ Bank and hot water. Where is it here? Some of these are pretty old videos here, man. Toronto mass exodus housing crisis 1 year ago. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Oh, this is a man for Japan. Real estate agent's new game plan. Yeah. This one here, a man from Japan. That's eBankU. The video's a year old now. 623 views. Watch A Man from Japan. It's a good story. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes long. Yep. There you go. Look at this. Filipino women equal beef patties. Right there from a year ago. Yeah. Hey, Lord Humongous is back. Thank God he's here. All right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to go spend some time with the wife and kids are asleep. I'm going to go tuck them in. And someone's saying that Philippines just had a 6.5 earthquake. Well, I'm going to go check on that right now. And yeah, I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight. Guys, I'm going to ask you guys for a favor. I really am. And I'm not going to pull an AMTV on you and try and sell you a course. I just really need you guys to share one of my videos. I need you to go on here. I really need you to go and share a video. I don't care where. Share it to, what the hell you call that? MySpace. I don't care. I really need you to get me out there, please. The channel is dying because there's something happening. And it's been happening for a while on the channel. I have an email from somebody that worked for the company. I'm going to read that email to you guys tomorrow. And they're like, I feel for you, Mike. You are, of all people, he's basically told me, of all the people on YouTube, I am one of the very few channels in the planet that has uploaded more than 4,000 original, unique videos. 4,000 videos. I'm almost at 5,000 videos on my channel. And he explains to me what's happening with my channel. And I need you guys to share anything. I don't care. Go on here. Look at this woman. Look, woman, 23-year-old beats up 75-year-old woman. Look at this. Share something. Share this. This insanity. Let's see if I can find the video here. The video's in here. About I show it about a woman who 23-year-old woman beats up a 75-year-old woman. You guys have to see the cruelty that people have towards each other nowadays, especially this younger generation. I don't know what's happening. All right, guys. Yeah, Owen says, Mike, you have 11,200 subscribers. You've been growing. No. There's actually something else. Guys, do you know I got more views on my videos when I had 900 subscribers? Or when I had 1,200 subscribers? I had a lot more views on my video when I was under the old YouTube regime. Something's very wrong, and I'll explain to you tomorrow what's going on. And guys, if you want to really support this channel, subscribe to my video game channel as our backup channel. I'm going to leave a link. Do not ring the bell for notifications, please. Do not ring the bell. This is the channel we used a year and a half ago when we got taken down because I was talking about the housing market in Australia. So if you guys want to go to this channel, this is my video game review channel. This is a front for us to use for live streaming, and then I auto-delete the live stream when we're done. So I don't get in trouble. So it doesn't exist on the channel. It's not there. So it auto-deletes the live stream. So can you guys please subscribe? Lord Humongous knows. Three Right Guys know. Who else knows? We were using this channel a lot as our little speakeasy, our little secret that we had with this channel, this video game channel we used for that reason. So we go live on it and then delete the video after we went live. So there was no questions about it after. You know what I'm saying? So Steve Stevens says, Mike, you got the best channel on YouTube. You should have 6-figure subscribers at least. No, there's something happening, guys. And I'm sorry. Like, it's not that it's killing my soul. It's not that it's, it is putting me down. It's actually put me in a rut for most of the day when I found out. So an upper echelon that used to work for the company told me what's going on. And it kind of put me down, the amount of time I put here, the amount of discussion. I'm plus 4,000 videos. So subscribe to this one, guys, please. This is our backup channel. This is the channel that we meet secretively when the other channel doesn't allow. Same thing, yeah. Steve Stevens says, no. Owen says him and Formafist. Formafist is a fantastic channel. I've had him on the show. I've been on his show. I love that guy very much. I really do. And he's having the same problems too. He's like, something's wrong. You know? Many YouTubers are migrating to BitChute. Yes, I do use BitChute. I do have a BitChute channel. I have like 60 videos up there. My problem, it takes a gazillion years to work with BitChute to get it organized. When you upload, sometimes I have to upload the video 9 times, the same video, until it gets uploaded because they're having a problem on their end. And I tried on different computers, on different systems. It's not just IBM. I tried it on all kinds of systems, and yeah. Yeah, shout out to Formafist. He contacted me last week, wanted to do a show. I'm down, 100%. I told him I'm down. And yeah, he's a great guy. So he should have easily on his channel, I don't know how many subscribers he has now. He should be sitting at least 23,000, 35,000 subscribers. Easy. No questions asked, no debates. But there's something happening, guys. And I need everyone to subscribe to this handheld junkie. I'm going to ask you again. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking, like, I know that, what's his name? Supreme Cannon subscribed to this. I know everyone subscribes to this channel only as a backup. Do not ring the bell. Please do not ring the bell for notifications. Don't bother with it. Just leave it in the background. Leave it as one of your channels, and then from time to time, if you don't see me uploading or live streaming, I'll make an announcement on my channel to come to this channel. Because it's already been down 2 times my main channel. Every time I go heavy on the Australian housing... No, don't ring the bell until I tell you to ring the bell when I start going streaming on there. So I'm telling you not to ring the bell on this channel until I go on the other channel if I get taken down and saying, okay guys, we're going on the video game channel and... go ahead and go to the bell and so you can get updates on when we go live. That's what I mean. Sorry. D-Dunk says, I like watching you both. Realistic viewpoints. Yeah, well, everyone likes watching I'm saying this is the backup. So every time I go hard on the Australian housing market, I always get my channel taken down for 3 months. So... what do I do, right? So I can't... that's why I don't go too hard on the Australian housing market anymore. It's like every time if I put a really hard-hitting Australian housing market video, it goes up to 1,300, 2,000 views, and then it gets cut right off, and then my channel gets like a strike or gets something. And then if I go if I go really hard on Australian housing, my channel got shut down twice for 3 months. So we got Dave from Berlin. Hey, Mike, been watching your videos from Berlin, Germany. You're the best, man. Dave, I love you, buddy. Thanks for your support. TJH is in the house saying yes. Owen says, Mike, you and Formafist should do a show again. Yeah, of course. I'm always game for anything. It doesn't matter. Because for me, it's like I'm not doing anything to gain something from it. Like I told you guys, I'm doing a little side fun business where I'm repairing handheld... I bought a bunch of these Nintendo Switches that are broken, and I'm just going to fix them and then resell them, you know? So, like, and I'm not doing this to make money. I'm actually doing it because I like fixing electronics. So I fixed them. They work. I'm excited. I take it upstairs to my wife. Look, I fixed the sound on this Game Gear or this Game Boy or this Nintendo Switch. She's like... woo! Right? And then I'm like, wait a minute, I could sell this thing for like $200 or $300. So you see what I'm saying? I'm eventually, then money starts coming in, right? But then my bank examiner and my accountant is like, oh, Mike, you keep making money from weird places and we got to account for it and what's going on here? And I get that kind of lecture, you know what I'm saying? Merry Christmas only, yeah, I'm Roman Catholic. I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm Roman Catholic. I was baptized. I went through all the sacraments. And yeah, I celebrate Christmas. You know, if you want to call me delusional, go right ahead and call me whatever you want to call me. Because in the end, we all get judged. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to get biblical here. Guys, lots of love, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd like to know. And go on the main channel and share something, guys. I need you guys. I really do. Zombie Apocalypse. YouTube is definitely shadow banning. When you search Vancouver housing bubble, it only shows videos that say everything is great, no bubble. Only Canadian channel I found was Formafist and Mike. Dave from Berlin says, have you read that in Berlin City, government bought 1,000 units in order to keep rent affordable? Yeah, it's right here. I actually was looking at that. Where is it? Germany. Right here. Germany housing. Housing in Germany cities most overpriced in the world. And government in Germany to buy property. I was already looking at that today. Right here. I already have it open. Germany is one of the most overpriced cities in the world. And maybe we should have Dave from Berlin on the show. Dave, do you want to add me on Skype? Mike Martins, MikeMartins 1980. Can you add me on Skype, Dave, and shoot me a message on Skype? It's free. Just say, hey, it's Dave from Berlin, Mike. You know, and I want to have you on the show to tell us what's happening in Germany, because Germany is out of control right now. Its housing has been going up consecutively in double digits in the last 4 years. And the German proper are moving to secondary and tri-cities. So they're moving from the bigger cities to the secondary bigger cities to the tri-cities. So it's good to know what's happening there, because it's happening everywhere. The whole West is plagued with this housing destruction. Okay, guys, thanks so much. God bless. Have a good night, and we shall be seeing each other very soon. You'll see me tomorrow in a video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.